Tesla considering plant in Mexico, official says. February 2, 2023. Tesla's factory in Mexico is a topic that returns like a boomerang from time to time, and another report just arrived. Reuters reports, via newspaper El Heraldo de Mexico, that Mexican presidential spokesman Jesus Ramirez said that Tesla is considering setting up an assembly plant for electric vehicles. As we understand, near Mexico City's new airport. The plant might be built in an industrial park in a development about 3 kilometers. 2 miles from the Felipe Angeles International Airport (AIFA). It was previously expected that Tesla is more interested in the northern state of Nuevo León, bordering Texas, closer to its HQ and to its largest North American market. However, even more surprising is the info that Tesla would export its products by air. Tesla is looking at investing in that area to take advantage of AIFA. Ramirez told Reuters late on Monday, noting the site could serve as a base for the firm to export by air. It's hard to believe that electric vehicles would be ever shipped in volume using aircrafts. So it might be a bug in translation, or maybe we are talking about a different product than electric vehicles. Or some specific parts. We can't say anything for sure. But considering that Tesla is a global company and that is expanding its business related to cars, trucks, batteries, charging, software, and even autonomous robots, there is always a chance that one of its new plants will be built in Mexico. Ford and General Motors are also producing cars in Mexico in the case of EVs. Ford is producing the Mustang Mach-E, while GM intends to produce in Mexico Ultium-based models. We must keep in mind that recently Tesla's CEO Elon Musk hinted at multiple ideas products that the company could introduce in the market. A new plant potentially could be for one of new, undisclosed products. Source: reposted and summarized from Mark Kane at InsideEVS.com. My take: who's going to be the big winner here? Canada, Mexico, or Indonesia? Tesla's price reductions making major impact on rivals in China. February 2, 2023. Tesla's top rivals may not be in the US but rather in China. In fact, CEO Elon Musk made a reference to some company out of China during Tesla's recent Q4 2022 earnings call when talking about the US EV maker's biggest rival. Recent reports suggest that Tesla's price cuts in the country are impacting the sales of local EV brands, including Li Auto, NIO, and XPeng. Musk has talked about Tesla's top rivals in the past being gas-powered cars, not EVs. However, China has the biggest automotive market in the world, with many successful companies producing and selling EVs. That said, perhaps Tesla's biggest competitors on a global scale are gas cars. But in China, it's locally produced EVs that the US brand is primarily focused on beating in sales. Tesla recently cut prices rather significantly in the US and China, among other global markets. As we previously reported, the major price reductions seem to be impacting the global automotive market as a whole, which comes as no surprise. Tesla, which many still consider a smaller, niche automaker, moved the Model Y and Model 3 way up the list of the top-selling cars in the world in 2022. And most of those sales happened when Tesla's prices were historically high. Tesla offered multiple incentives in China at the end of 2022 and more in 2023 to ramp up sales. And it caused some people to flock to stores to place orders or take delivery. While other folks showed up in protest, people who bought a Tesla in China prior to the second wave of price cuts felt cheated and hoped for a refund, which the automaker will not honor. With all of that said, a recent report published by Tesla RT points out that Li Auto, NIO, and XPeng all experienced a notable drop in monthly and year-over-year sales in January. While it's typically expected that an automaker will sell fewer cars in January than it did in December, these EV makers were likely expecting a sales increase when comparing January 2023 to January 2022. China-based analyst Gao Shen shared. Source: reposted and summarized from Stephen Loveday at InsideEVS.com. My take: Tesla's only competition right now is China. BYD is someone to look out for in the near future. Tesla Model S dominates in extreme cold weather testing in Norway. February 2, 2023. The Tesla Model S recently dominated an extreme cold weather testing study performed by Norwegian outlet Motor, accumulating 530 kilometers (329.327 miles) in some of the harshest winter conditions available. Of the 29 electric vehicles tested during the assessment, the Model S was the only vehicle to achieve at least 450 kilometers of real-world driving range in frigid temperatures and snowy terrain. The study utilized a variety of EVs from several different manufacturers. Tesla Model S Standard, Model X Plaid, and Model Y rear-wheel drive vehicles participated in the study, with Mercedes EQE 300, BMW i7, Volkswagen's ID.5 and ID. Buzz also taking part. The publication broke down how it tests vehicles to maintain a fair and equal opportunity for desirable results. The test is performed every 6 months, winter and summer, following the same route, a loop through Oslo, up RV4 to Gjøvik, from there E6 up to Hjørkun, then east and around Rondane over Venneberg DSF down to Ringebu and up E6 again. The cars are driven at the speed limit until their charge is depleted. And no driver support systems, such as cruise control, are permitted during the test. Impressive in its own right, the Model S achieved a massive 530 kilometers of range on a single charge, despite only being charged 98% due to a technical problem. The Model S dual-motor all-wheel drive didn't have a very close competitor. In fact, the vehicle that came closest was the Tesla Model X Plaid, which achieved 444 kilometers, 275.889 miles. Right behind it were the BMW i4 and 9 ET7, which both achieved 434 kilometers before depleting their travel distance. The Model S also had one of the lowest deviations from its WLTP range ratings, coming in at 16.40%. Of the top 10 performing vehicles, the Model S had the lowest, with the Model X coming in second with 18.23%. After including the heat pump on the Model Y, Tesla eventually implemented it on its 3 other vehicles, with the Model S and Model X receiving the addition with its refreshed cars in 2021. Elon Musk once said the heat pump was some of the best engineering I've seen in a while. It was developed by Joseph Mardall and other members of the Tesla engineering team. Mardall left Tesla in early 2021 to join Zipline, a robotics and autonomy-focused logistics company. Another fun fact: the Model S beat the record set by the 2021 Tesla Model 3 dual-motor long range, which made it 521 kilometers, 323.734 miles. Source: reposted and summarized from Joey Klender at TeslaRT.com. My take: Tesla's heat pump and octovalve give it a huge advantage in the cold weather. Tesla may dial up Giga Shanghai production amid huge demand. February 2, 2023. Now that Tesla has dropped its prices in multiple global markets, including China and the US, it's reportedly seeing massive demand. Based on information from a new report shared by Electrek, the EV maker has plans to dial up production in China to around 20,000 units per week. Tesla's Giga Shanghai factory in China has impressed with its output and efficiency, and the automaker made notable upgrades toward the end of 2022, making the factory even more efficient. While the upgrades would allow Tesla to ramp up production significantly, the automaker decided not to push it to the max in 2022, which caused concern for some folks, as it signaled potential demand issues. Tesla offered incentives at the end of last year to help boost sales, and while they likely helped, it wasn't until the more recent price cuts that demand seems to have spiked so significantly. Giga Shanghai is arguably the US electric automaker's most crucial factory, since it not only supplies EVs to the largest domestic auto market in the world but is also Tesla's primary export hub. We've already seen drone footage of loads of Tesla EVs being loaded onto carrier ships to head to new owners. Many of the vehicles produced at Giga Shanghai have made their way to Europe. While Tesla has a newer factory in Germany, it's still ramping up production, and it only currently produces the Model Y crossover. When Tesla was being heavily scrutinized for the potential drop in demand for its vehicles, it seemed interesting that it would continue upgrading existing factories to boost output, not to mention opening and ramping up new factories while looking for sites for more to come. However, CEO Elon Musk mentioned on a few occasions that Tesla's delivery wait times were getting ridiculous. He also said he hoped to reduce prices as they were getting quite high. At any rate, Tesla produced some 80,000 EVs at Giga Shanghai in China in September 2022, after which production output began to drop. Even after the factory upgrades would allow Tesla to produce at a notably higher rate. It wasn't making more cars. According to a recent report by Reuters based on an internal planning memo, Tesla will bump up its weekly average production rate to about 20,000 units for the months of February and March. Reuters claims it obtained access to the memo, but we have no proof of those claims. Tesla typically produces EVs at Giga Shanghai for export at the beginning of the quarter before honing in on local deliveries. However, there's no way to know for sure if the EV maker is done exporting for Q1 2023 since January is behind us, or if some of the increased production will head overseas. Regardless, based on reports about the price cuts in China, it appears Tesla has plenty of domestic orders to fill. Source: reposted and summarized from Stephen Loveday at InsideEVS.com. My take: we are going to see just how many cars Giga Shanghai can really produce. In 1 year,